Okay, so we were able to finally get the O-rings on. We weren't able to show you the process of doing it because we had to get in there nice and close. I'm sure if we had some O-ring pliers it would have made it easier. However, we did not. But we were able to go by with just a set of pliers like these. These are wire cutters. They have a sharp point on the tip, sharp tips. And with that, this tip was actually small enough to fit in the holes on the O-ring. So we were able to get it in there. As you can see, it's in there and it's holding that wheel nice and in place. So we put that wheel on, and that completes step 5. Moving on to step 6, we're going to put the tail wheel. Now I showed you the tail wheel in the beginning, and it's this component here. Very simple, kind of just goes right back in here. And you can see I could probably just shove it in there, and it's pretty good, you know. But basically, before we put it in there, it looks like we're going to have to put an axle on the wheel, which is also in another baggie. I'm going to take that axle out. One thing to always make sure of, sorry about this, but I'm going to kind of clean up the area I'm working in because things tend to accumulate. Now, the instructions say put the axle in the hole. You can see I just put it in, very simple, slips in without a problem. And we're going to use some more of those famous black screws. We have 2 of them here. And we're going to put this sucker in there and we're good to go. So I'm going to just kind of slide this in, line it up, looks lined up, and start screwing in the screws. And we're going to use the Allen key once again, tighten it up. Tighten up really pretty simple. Again, this kit is really nice. It's very simple, yet it lets you do a lot. It's easy to put together. It's not too simple that it's for somebody that doesn't know how to build a robot kit. But one thing I must say, if you want to learn about robots, this is a nice way. This kit has a lot of things you get to use, and it's also includes all the tools you need, more or less, to build the kit. The only addition so far I would say is maybe some O-ring pliers. So going back to what we were saying earlier in the demonstration is this. See, notice how it just kind of rolls around. That's because these actually spin sideways. So not only does it spin back and forth like so, but it also moves as such. So it does not need to spin. Sometimes you see a wheel back here with a caster of some sort, and that spins around. And this kit does not look like it needs it, which is pretty good. So that completed step 6. Now we're on to step 7. Step 7 looks like we're going to be doing the battery holder wiring. So it does look like the battery is going to go inside the unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these back like so, just to get these wires out of the way. I tend to do this with all the robot kits. I just kind of move them aside so I can get in there and work it. This has got a wire wrapped around it. Make sure you unwrap it. And make sure that you don't break the wire or anything like that. Now, by looking at the picture, it doesn't really matter which way this is mounted, like this or like this, because this is on the side, so we're just going to do it however it feels, whatever feels easiest for me. But now that I look at it, I'm seeing that there's holes here on this, so I might not have that option. So let's see, I'm just kind of going to position this. I think that goes towards the back. Okay. Trying to see how these all fit in. So it looks like there's going to be this hole here down the middle. We're going to be using this hole here, and we're using this line right here, up and down, to actually mount it. And there's actually 2 holes here, one here, one there, and one there. That's where those are going to be mounted. So it does look like we have the option, and it doesn't really matter. So yeah, that fits nicely there. Now according to this picture, we're going to need washer, some screws, and some nuts. So looks like we only have 2 washers in the kit, so this makes our selection pretty easy. We're going to take those 2 washers. What else are we going to take here? Now the screws themselves, according to the picture, now this is all based off the picture, look like they have a flat head. None of these are flat. So let's see here. So we get the one battery holder, two screws black, flat, okay, flat head, okay. So they're black screws and they're flat heads. So it turns out they're black and they have a flat head. Doesn't mean that they're a Phillips, it means that there's a flat head on it. I don't know if you can see that there or not, but it's flat. The reason why it's flat is so that you can mount the batteries and they won't pop out. And there's two black nuts here. There they are. And that's it. Very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by putting each screw in here in the battery holder itself. Well, let's just start off with one. Now this takes a washer in between the, let's put that there on the screw. Now what I like to do to kind of hold this in place is put the screwdriver in there. That helps me keep things in place and in order. Now as you can see, this fell through. So let's try a different technique. I'm going to go ahead and put the washer on the spot where I'm going to put the screw. There. Gently screw that in, double check it. So yep, as you can see there's the nut. We're able to mount it nicely. The next step is to align the other hole. So we have that. So this one was a little tricky to get in there, but I was able to do it. And there we have it. So again, I'm not using anything special here. I'm just using the tool they gave me and my finger. My finger is holding the nut on the back or on the bottom of the actual unit. Here we have it. We are screwed in. We're good to go. And there's the battery holder. Make sure to keep track of where the cable is. Again, you'll find me pretty obsessed with keeping things organized as I'm building, and I suggest you do the same so that you don't lose track of what you're doing and everything's clear on how it has to get plugged in. So, we're done with the battery holder installation. Now it says the retention clips. So there is a battery retention clip. Basically this is this aluminum piece that we have here, which I was wondering where that went because it didn't make any sense to me. Now I know. Just kind of cut this tape off here. I'm not going to install the batteries just yet, force of habit, simply because I don't want to fry anything by accident. This battery retention thing just gets plugged in like so. That's it. Clips on very easily. We'll move on, and then we'll come back to installing the batteries later. Next step here is the upper chassis assembly. So we're done with the lower chassis assembly. It looks like we're going to need to do something separate for the upper chassis. The upper chassis is going to sit on top of this like so, but there's a whole bunch of risers and